Bruno Silva absolutely hates Chris Weidman and Daniel Cormier. Silva fought Weidman back in March and lost via technical decision. Fans were calling Weidman out left and right over multiple eye pokes during the fight. Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Silva said, "We were asking for this fight. When I go to bed at night, he's the opponent I hate the most. I fought many people. I have more than 30 MMA fights, but every time I think of him and Cormier, I feel anger. Weidman is fighting a month after me, and my focus is on knocking this guy, and then I'm calling him out on the mic. I could ask for other opponents, but I like to deal with things my way. He's fighting next month, and I have a score to settle with him. It's personal. I'll ask the UFC, and I hope they send him my way. He's not on a great run, but he has a big name. He's a former champion, and it brings good media. If we both win, maybe that's interesting for the UFC. I want that fight back. But if that's something that's going to slow me down, that dude. My biggest mistake was that I respected Chris Weidman too much, and I'll live with that for the rest of my life. He deserved no respect. Even Coach Andre said that I respected him way too much. The fight was over. We spoke in the locker room because I didn't want any bad vibe, and then he grabs the mic and starts talking crap. Him and Cormier. My God, Cormier. Talk about an insufferable person. And when the doping news came, brother, what am I going to say? Let's suppose you don't know me, and here I tested positive. How am I going to defend myself? The full story is out there, but people only read the headline. The crap he said, that pisses me off. But how am I going to say anything? He already doesn't respect anybody, and now I'm testing positive. I stayed quiet. Life will get back at him, like it did when he made fun of Anderson Silva and then broke his leg. He reaps what he sows. Unfortunately, I didn't beat him. If I knock him out, then there's no more argument. But he defeated me that way and I can't say anything. It bothers me a lot, man. Sometimes I can't believe people can be so disrespectful, but there's always bad people out there. Mike Perry fires back at Conor McGregor saying he's fired from BKFC. Perry says there's no truth to that, and BKFC is contractually obligated to give him more fights.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, I don't think he's possibly doing all this professional stuff on drugs like people are saying he is. I don't think that that would even work out or be possible. He said,
like, Mike Perry ain't
we're gonna sit down and negotiate, and then he stopped saying negotiate because he knows how it works. Thanks to Ariel Helwani finally said something, said Mike's not been fired and hasn't been, and you know, that's not how it works. We have a contract that I will fulfill, and bare knuckle is, you know, to honor that contract and offer me more competition. People love the drama and the nastiness of it because maybe that's where they are or find themselves in life, and that's just not the direction I'm looking towards. And you know, fighting in mixed martial arts has always been about honor and respect, and I guess boring for me because it's about bettering oneself and becoming stronger and a greater influence to the younger generation.
Max Holloway responds to criticism that he was teasing Ilia Topuria for struggling to speak English. Speaking to MMAfighting.com, Max said, "I need to clear this up. A lot of people were giving me heat for teasing him how he spoke English. I wasn't teasing that he was speaking English. I know he speaks like 5 languages. I speak 1 language, and I have a hard time speaking English. I have a hard time saying names. I understand how hard speaking 1 language is. I wasn't teasing his language. What I was teasing was that he sounded so scripted, and every time he went off his scripted words, he started mumbling or he would say, 'Shut the f up, motherfucker.' I'm like, brother, you're so scripted right now." That's why I teased him. I'm like, speak. Stop using your scripted lines. It wasn't that deep. I was calling him out. You could tell. Watch the interview. Everything he was saying was scripted. As soon as it wasn't scripted, or he didn't know what to say, he didn't have an answer for it. He'd either say, "Shut the F up, mother effer," or he would start stumbling. That's why I was teasing him. I don't talk very good English, and this is my only language. Stop attacking me about that. Daniel Cormier believes Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway is the best fight on the current calendar.
Because I truly do believe that this is the best fight that we have on the calendar. This is the most high level, most skilled between 2 combatants. I don't care who's fighting. I don't care that Bilal's fighting Shavkat. I don't care that John is fighting Stipe. Those guys, in terms of just pure mixed martial artists, they're not as good as Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria.
Ahead of his fight against Alexander Rakic this weekend, Magomed Ankalaev says that he's grown mentally, and we will see a different version of him.
This is a very important fight for me, especially the 4th one here. I have a lot of fans here, a lot of good fights, and hopefully this one will be another one like that, but I appreciate everyone. I think here the most important thing is, of course, to have a proper team, the right working regimen, train hard, you know, have a goal, proper mindset, and that's exactly what we're going for, our goals. I think the biggest growth and the most important thing was my mindset. Was the way I look at things and what's going on in my mind, so you guys will see a different Ankalaev this time. Yes, we all know Rakic. We all know he's a good fighter. He can wrestle. He can strike as well. We all know he's a good fighter, but we just look at him as another person that's in front of my goal. So we're going to run him over and move forward. Yeah, so for sure it's going to be a very good fight for me. It's going to be a very exciting one, but I was promised a title shot with the win in this fight. So I don't think I need any other motivation. This is the motivation that I have, and I'm going to work for that. So I'm going to do everything and work hard to be a champion. I think the fans will be very supportive because they too know that I deserve to be fighting for the belt as well. So I think they're going to be behind me and support me. You know, unfortunately my road was a little bit longer than expected, but we're going to get there, and I think that the fans will be behind me.
Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo give their predictions for Khamzat Chimaev versus Robert Whittaker. Henry believes Whittaker will be too much for Khamzat and can't see Khamzat going 5 rounds. Kamaru then tells Henry that a lot of casual fans would also have that take, and he thinks Khamzat will pull it off.
Kamaru, I don't think he gets the job done. Besides Khamzat Chimaev trying to kick my ass at the Olympics in Paris, I ain't trying to fight this dude. So Khamzat, forgive me for all I've done or all I've said, but Robert Whittaker is just too much. He's a real middleweight. He's fought the who's. He's a former champion. He's gone 5 rounds on multiple occasions. He's gone up against wrestlers like Yoel Romero. Robert Whittaker is just too gifted. He can go southpaw, he can go righty. And particularly watching that fight with you and Khamzat, which I believe is the last time he's fought. I just don't see Khamzat going past 5 rounds. I see a stoppage in the favor of the Reaper, Robert Whittaker. Am I too harsh, Kamaru? Tell me.
I don't know. I don't think you're too harsh. I think a lot of fans, a lot of casual fans, feel the same way that you feel. And no burn there, no burn. I just mean there's a lot of fans that feel this. If I had to pick, let me just make it short. If I had to pick, I do love Robert Whittaker. I think Robert Whittaker is super talented, especially what he just went out there and did and disposed of Ikram. I do think he's special. He's got a lot of thread left on the tire, but if I had to choose, I'm gonna go with Khamzat Chimaev.
Really? Damn, Kamaru. Okay, dude. All right.
Robert Whittaker says he's coming for war against Khamzat Chimaev this weekend. Rob says he's prepared as if this will be the hardest fight of his life. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Rob said, "I'm expecting him to come out hard and aggressive from the first second to the last, and I have prepared accordingly for that. I have prepared for the hardest fight of my life, to start extremely hard, like sprinting for the first 5 to 10 minutes, but also drag it out for 5 rounds. I'm ready to sprint for 25 minutes if so, and I'm coming for war." On what makes him different from Khamzat, Rob continued experience. "I'm good at what I do. I'm a different fighter than he's fought before. And I guess maybe the fact that I know how to lose, it gives me strength. It gives me a reason why I don't like being there, why I don't want that to be my reality. It sucks. So I'm going to go out there and give him a taste of it." Mike Tyson posted some sparring footage today ahead of his boxing match against Jake Paul. Tyson versus Paul goes down on November 15th. Let me know how you guys think Tyson looks in the comments.
Nice left hook. Up. Was good for today. Yeah. I took it. You sure? Yeah, me too. You sure? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. You sure? Yeah. It's all right. Let's do this. You did great. We're done. We're gonna do it. You sure? Yeah. Trust me. I got a lot in me. This work, boy. Let's get started.
Shara Bullet faces Arman Petrosyan this weekend at UFC 308. Shara says he plans to prove he's one of the best strikers in the UFC.
Хороший поединок для меня.
Yeah, I think this is a great matchup for me at this time. Arman Petrosyan is a great fighter. He's a great striker. I've had 4 fights in the UFC so far. All of them were strikers, and then somehow they all turned into wrestlers in the middle of the fight. So when it comes to Arman Petrosyan, he's got a great base of Muay Thai, right? I have a Muay Thai base. He does as well. He's got not just kicks, not just regular boxing, not just wrestling. He's kind of quintessential blend of all of those things. He does good in the clinch, he does good in the distance or up close, and me as well, because we have the same base. So I think this type of opponent right now is going to be a very exciting fight, very fun for the fans to see. So I think this is perfect. This is the time to do it. You know, a great win over this opponent will just show that I am the best, one of the best, if not the best striker in this division. All of the other fighters that I had in the UFC, they're all turn from strikers into wrestlers, right? Whenever I would win, they would say, oh, well, he would do terrible against this guy. And then the next opponent would be the guy that they said, and I would win. So I think this is gonna put cross all the T's, dot all the I's, and the fact that I am the striker that I say that I am. I'm great, and I'm ready to fight tops of the division. What I want the fans to say is finally give him a striker that can actually do something good against him, you know, somebody that he deserves to fight, a great striker. And, you know, the roster is full of the guys. I want them to give me Adesanya. I want them to give me Kevin Holland. I want them to give me Michel Pereira. You know, give me these guys. This is who I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to be on the top level and compete with the tops of the division.
Daniel Cormier wrestled with Khamzat Chimaev, Ilia Topuria, and Magomed Ankalaev.
Hey, you know what's crazy? After you pick me up, everybody try to pick me up now. After you pick me up, everybody try to pick me up. What's up, Khamzat? How you doing, bro? Hey, let me tell you something. Not this time. You beat me last time. Hey, why the guys not all dressed like this? Remember last time? All nice sweatsuits? Why you don't got these guys?
I should see this.
Khamzat Chimaev plans to beat Robert Whittaker and steal Sean Strickland's title shot. Sean Strickland recently stated that the rematch with Dricus du Plessis is in the works. However, a date has not been set yet.
They say that it's going to be Dricus versus Sean Strickland for the title next. But if you go out there and you finish Robert Whittaker in 1 or 2 rounds, do you think that the UFC will have to say, okay, no, it's Khamzat next?
I hope so, but they said that before as well. When I beat the Kilburn, how long time it was? 2-3 years ago, man. I didn't my chance. After that, Usman, if he beats Usman, I'm gonna fight for the title. Didn't fought yet, so we'll see. But I'm happy with the money. I'm making more money and any champ as well, man. So.
MMA Junkie posted that clip to their Instagram, and Jorge Masvidal left a comment. He wrote, missing weight, pulling out of multiple fights, and makes more than champions. We got another case of Colby syndrome. Khamzat also did an interview with Michael Bisping today and had more words for Sean Strickland. He says that he saw Sean's recent post about him on X. Sean recently went off on Khamzat. He said, I love how the world just looks over this guy's past. Builds a life in Sweden, goes and becomes best friends with an absolute monster who pretty much bought him like a W. Then when the leash got too tight, he fled to the Middle East. You should not be allowed in this country. You sold your soul to a terrorist dictator. You are not compatible with America. Thank God we don't do drone strikes in that part of the sandpit. Sick of the UFC forgetting it's an American company. Khamzat responded saying, we spar with him. We train with that guy. I don't know. We've been good when we in the gym. When I go back to Sweden, he start to tweet and do some things. He didn't like when I said I'd tap him out. Yeah, I tapped him out many times, bro. Chokes, different things. But he's good. He's a good fighter. And that's going to wrap it up for the news. Thanks for watching. For daily MMA news and content, subscribe to Full Mount MMA and click the bell icon to be notified when we post videos. Here are the 3 top comments from last video. The first one's from Video Diaries EJO. It says, what are you gonna do? Volume punch me? Might be the funniest thing Shab's ever said. The second one's from Mark Francis 1369. It's in reference to the footage of Brian Ortega showcasing the weird audio message he got from a fan. It says Diddy calling Ortega from prison. And the final one's from Marco. It says props to Henry Cejudo for releasing the Sean O'Malley interview, even though it was bad for him. Usman can't do the same. Those were the 3 top comments from last video. If you want to be featured in the next one, all you have to do is comment down below. And if you missed yesterday's news, click the video on screen right now to get caught up.